and welcome to Inside Neyland Stadium, where Tennessee just took its fourth loss of the season. 38-10 is going to be your final score between Tennessee and Georgia, as the ball struck first, took that 7-0 lead on a 75-yard run from Jalen Wright, but from there it was all Georgia. Let's jump right into our thoughts, starting on the offensive side. Noah, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Tennessee's offensive performance?
Yeah, just third down, and that was like Josh Heupel brought up. It was a killer for Tennessee today. 2 of 11, I think Tennessee was in the game. Couldn't keep the team on the field, couldn't keep the offense on the field. He was asked about that, said it was, some of the words he used was disappointing, that it wasn't winning football. Look, on the flip side of that, obviously Georgia had success in extending their drives on third down. Tennessee couldn't. I think that's kind of a trend you've seen this year in some games where, he was asked too, I thought was interesting, about the offense being able to be explosive under him, not just here, but when he was at UCF too. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is kind of on pace to be the lowest output that they've put out. Josh Heupel team has put out. That seemed genuinely disappointing to him, that they haven't been able to keep up on a year where early in the season your defense was playing well offensively. That's one reason why some of those struggles have happened, is because you haven't been able to extend drives. That was a backbreaker for Tennessee today. It was a game we knew Tennessee had to keep up with Georgia and to have a chance. And when you look at 2-11, I mean, if you're not staying on the field, you're not really giving yourself much of a chance. So I think that was my biggest takeaway overall.
And that was something that Squirrel White kind of echoed in that presser, where last year, in your freshman year, you were part of one of the best offenses college football seen. And then the next year, the offense has left a lot to be desired, especially in the last few weeks. The two lowest outputs in the Josh Heupel era, 7 points at Mizzou, 10 points tonight against Georgia. Squirrel White also said, it's frustrating. It's tough to deal with. It's not what they expected. It's not what you expect from a Josh Heupel offense. Let's talk about the quarterback play for a moment. Joe Milton III received a lot of criticism lately. His final line is going to be 17 for 30, passing 147 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, took a sack as well. Not the best night for Joe Milton. I think that there's a lot of other reasons Tennessee lost today outside of the quarterback play, but he definitely left a lot out there on the field. It seemed like a few throws that he probably wished he could have gotten back. Still a situation where the wide receivers, you'd maybe want them to help a little bit, maybe get a little bit of separation that wasn't there, not a lot of options for him to throw to. But you're also playing behind an offensive line that is ridiculously banged up. You finally get your starter in Cooper Mays back after he missed the first chunk of games, but since then it's been tough for them to stay healthy still outside of that position. Your starting tackles on both sides aren't able to go tonight, except Gerald Mincey playing a tiny bit in relief. So I guess a situation where they didn't feel like he was capable of playing the whole game, but he was able to play a couple snaps at the end. So John Campbell Jr. on one side, Gerald Mincey on the other side, not able to go. It's going to be Dane Davis and Jeremiah Crawford instead. At guard, Ollie Lane getting the start again. Andre Carrick not able to go. I think it still probably would have been Ollie Lane either way. But then Javonte Spraggins goes down with an injury. And now you're putting in other guys, Jackson Lampley, into the rotation. And it's just been an issue for Tennessee. Dane Davis goes down as well on that offensive line. So Joe Milton not with a lot of time. Receivers not necessarily helping. Georgia's defense, phenomenal, of course, stuffing the run on a lot of occasions outside of that first run from Jalen Wright. Just a rough night overall for the offense, and the head of that offense, Joe Milton, maybe not the best performance from him as well. Let's flip to the defensive side. You mentioned third downs as an issue on offense, also an issue on defense. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the official numbers for Georgia, 9 of 13 converted on third down. Tennessee, I think what was frustrating for them or anybody associated with the program is the fact that you do bust that big play early with Jalen Wright. You take that 7-0 lead. Georgia converts a couple third downs. They get a field goal out of that opening drive for Georgia, but they come back again. You have a chance to get off the field again. And we talked about it up in the press box. Kind of the main reason they settle for a field goal there is because of just kind of a fluke fumble that set them back and forced them into third and very long that they don't get. Mm-hmm. Other than that, though, I mean, Georgia was very efficient on third down. They were able to stay on the field. And it kind of opened the way for Tennessee for a trend we've seen in losses this season. Long stretches of just giving up a lot of points and it kind of piling on. You saw it at Florida in the second quarter. You saw it against Alabama in that third quarter. Kentucky was never able to really establish that in that game, but you saw it again today. You take that 7-0 lead. I think Georgia scores 24 unanswered after that.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of out of the game at that point. So, yeah, Aaron Beasley was asked about those trends, what's kind of making that happy. So they don't really have an answer right now as to why those things are happening. I think, obviously, we talk about the injuries. That plays a part. Some of the guys that are missing, I think some of the guys that are down, especially in that secondary, the linebacking group. Team as a whole has just been dealt a tough blow there. But, yeah, I mean, overall, if you're going to give up 9 of 13 on third down, I just think that you're not really going to win a lot of games if your offense can't kind of match that.
Not really something that we necessarily expected either after games against South Carolina, games against Texas A&M. Where you looked at and you said, this defense is this team's strength. The A&M game, I mean, man, they were everywhere. And you're playing maybe not the best offenses in the SEC, but it was still really impressive showings. And since then, that hasn't really been the case. Alabama in the second half, it was tough. You go to Kentucky, you don't do a great job on defense. Obviously, Cody Schrader in Missouri tore you up. And then tonight, Georgia didn't have many issues as well. You touched on the injuries. Part of the issue, not the full issue, but you're playing a walk-on at star. Your third string guy there. Tamara McDonald not able to go, and then the guy you have replace him in Jordan Thomas, he's not able to go either after 2 snaps. He gets hurt. Now you have a walk-on in the game, and he held his own, but obviously you'd rather have those starting guys in. Wesley Walker at safety, he's not able to go. Andre Turrentine gets the start at linebacker. Quasi Garland, before the season even starts, he's out for the year. Keenan Peely plays 1 game. He's out for what seems to be the year. And then now Arian Carter off the bench, true freshman that's shown a lot of promise. He's out for the year. So it is a really banged up group. There's other issues, but that certainly didn't help. Georgia, though, I mean, you rush the ball for 156 yards. You throw the ball for 316. They really did what they wanted to. Carson Beck with a phenomenal game. Part of it is his ability to use his legs, avoid the pressure, because Tennessee was getting there a little bit, but he was able to just kind of extend plays, whether it was tucking it and running a little bit or just getting the ball out. He did a great job, caused a lot of issues for Tennessee's defense. Before we go, we'll touch on special teams really quickly. Jackson Ross, I feel like he had a good game. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like he's turned it around since that rough start. Charles Campbell, maybe an unrealistic type of kick, 55-yard attempt for him late in this game. He was not able to make that one. Made a field goal right before half earlier, though. Much more manageable kick. He knocked it down. So inside 40, he's been automatic. You start to extend him a little bit, and that's when he starts to get shaky, is what we've kind of learned from Charles Campbell in his lone year of eligibility with Tennessee. D. Williams, never really a chance to make an impact on the punt return or kick return game. Didn't really have a lot of punts to field with the way Georgia's offense went, and the kickoffs went out the back of the end zone. So he was silent as well. Special teams did all right. Essentially what you want from special teams, what they say is you don't want them to be noticed type of deal. You want it to go under the radar. I feel like that's what it was for Tennessee. It wasn't one of the issues. The other 2 phases of the game, though, definitely a concern going forward. Next up, though, Vanderbilt in a game Tennessee should feel pretty confident heading into. Vanderbilt, not the best team this year, kind of per usual. So Tennessee right here at home to finish things off against Vanderbilt, try to find their 8th win of the season before they go bowling in the 3rd straight year under Josh Heupel. All 3 seasons for him, this team has won at least 7 games and made a bowl appearance. We'll find out what that is. If you want to stick around for the rest of this season and beyond in the Josh Heupel era for Tennessee, make sure you hit VolReport.com. We'll have coverage on everything basketball season heating up as well. Men's team looks really good out the gate. Women's team off to a 2-1 start as well. So for coverage on that and more, head to VolReport.com. Links to everything you need is in the description. And thank you for watching.